my biddies. How are you today? I am fine-ish. I don't have any complaints today, so that's a good thing, I guess. I forgot to do that. Dee, 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 dee. I set this all up as Thursday because I are dumb. All right, so I had to redo everything. I had to re I had to reopen everything and move things around, and AITJ is driving me nuts because they keep Reddit keeps removing posts from there. I have no idea why. So today's was removed, tomorrow's is removed. Like, I had everything set up. I heard dumbbell. That's okay. I'll live, maybe. Um, Good news. I started watching the last 4 episodes of Sister Wives. So bad. Oh. Hidden talents. Next week we will be discussing hidden talents and what constitutes hidden and what constitutes a talent. Oh, Glorioski. So, excuse me. Once again, ate too late in the morning. Really got to eat at 11. Really got to eat at 11. Or I've got to delay this until an hour after start eating. Because half an hour just ain't cutting it. My postnasal cough. And no, it has nothing to do with my esophagus. My sister has the same thing. So it's just a winter cough that we both have. Mine likes to kick up after I eat. I've had it for years and years and years. Had it since before I had kids, so it's been over 30 years. I think if it was my esophagus, we would know by now. I even tried a nose rinse this morning and nothing. Nothing. Didn't help. Didn't hurt. Didn't help. So I guess we'll get right into it. First, we have malicious compliance, and it is entitled "Won't Let Me Help You Comply with DOT Regulations." That's the Department of Transportation. Have fun with that out of service ticket and fees, buddy. This happened 6 hours ago. Fallout resolved roughly 3 hours ago. That is a quick turnaround for malicious compliance. Wait till tomorrow's. Tomorrow's is long. I'm a 38-year-old male over the road truck driver. Was at a truck spot about 150 miles from my destination, about 30 miles from a dot way station. The other driver was getting fuel, and as he was, I noticed he had a hazmat on his trailer, as evidenced by the placards he was displayed on said trailer. Upon further look, however, I noticed he had one placard displayed sideways, two others upside down, and four mounted with duct tape. That does not sound good. That does not sound like it is complying to road regulations. As someone who has been in the industry over a decade, I knew the above was not correct. And I wanted to help him out, make sure he didn't get dinged by DOT, Department of Transportation, for incorrect display. I approached him, was friendly about it, and said that his placards were mounted wrong, and us just being in my home state, I knew how DOT operated around here. I told him he might want to fix it before he left. He asked me how long I'd been driving, and I told him I had a decade. He scoffed and said he had been driving for only 2 years, but knew better than me, and said while he appreciated my advice, told me to run my own truck the way I see fit and let me do my job my way. Okay, have at it, buddy. So I complied, wished him well, and went inside to grab something to eat. Fast forward a couple of hours later, when I was going to take off, I head south, and right before I get to the state border, there's a truck weigh-in station. As I'm approaching, my stomach starts to turn cartwheels, forcing me to exit to use the restroom. There in the parking lot is the guy I spoke to at the truck stop, ripping his placards off his truck with a dot officer standing beside him with new ones and a roll of clear tape. I asked him what happened. He scowls at me and says I got an improper display on a ticket service. Aw, poor thing. As it is, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. You were warned. I asked him how much it was. He said $2,500. 15 points to his CSA score. That's the scorecard they use for truck driver evaluations along with company evaluations, and 15 points to his company's CSA score. Officer approached me and asked me how I knew the guy, and I told the DOT officer that I tried to help him avoid that situation, but he said he knew more than I did, despite me having 8 more years more experience than him. Officer laughed and told the guy, maybe you ought to listen to people, especially if they're trying to save you money. Good officer. Yeah, it's really annoying when somebody comes up to you and says that you're wrong when you know you're right and you have more experience. I had a guy do this where at a place where I worked. We had rules. It was a campground. We had rules. And he was in the office complaining about something. I can't even remember what he was complaining about. He's like, I'd been there like at least 2 years at that point. I knew all the rules. I read the actual handbook, unlike most people. Um, and I was there every freaking day going over the rules with people. I knew the rules like the back of my hand by that point. I had a supervisor tell me once that nobody ever had to tell me to do how to do something twice because I got it the first time. I didn't repeat mistakes. So I knew the rules. Um, and he goes, who's been here longer? I just look at him like, I have because I'm here every day and you're only here a few weeks a year because you can't stay here year round and you can't he could stay there year round, but he can't, has to be in and out. He could stay at most half the time. So I don't care. You're not here all the time. You're not here every day. I am. And I know the rules. And the rules can change, sir. Did you understand that the rules can change sometimes? Because that happens too. So annoying. So anyway, McGrungyuk says, haha, I believe that. I'm a diesel mechanic and I had a road service call once for a dump truck that had a dot that Dot had pulled over and put out of service for his brakes not working. Yikes. Get out there and take a look at it, and he had some major issues on one axle. He kept wanting me to adjust them back in, and I already tried adjusting them just to ensure the slack adjuster was even functional. Spoiler, it was not. Then he proceeded to ask me to sign his citation so he could go. The state trooper still sitting in his car 20 feet away. I stared at him and said, sure, buddy, 150K. He looked at me like I was out of my mind and asked me what I meant. I explained that 150K would cover 2 years of salary and the fees I would have to pay since I would be the one taking all the risk and I'm not doing that for free. He decided that, of course, but then got lucky. The state trooper pulled away and the driver hauled butt back to his truck and took off. That sounds dangerous. Why? I don't understand why you're driving a giant multi-ton weapon, basically, at that point, without your brakes working properly. Why would you want to put yourself into that situation? You're not even thinking about other people that you might harm because you're selfish. Binder driver says it just seems that some people are beyond help. Yep. Some people won't take your help even if you give it freely. All right, next we have Evil Buildings, and it's it's entitled So-Called Ark, and it's really funny. They comment on it. Holy Ant Hill is the caption. So it does look like what you imagine the ark would look like, somewhat. It's very plain. I assume this is apartments up here since they have little and stores down below, which is nice. You just go to your store. Hopefully there's entrances inside too, because it's very snowy. So let's find out. Hezekiah Anime says times like this, I really wish there was some sort of public database of buildings and their architects. Like Wikipedia comes close, but it's missing a lot. I want to know more about this place. And there's a Wikipedia page um, in some other language. Oh, in Russian. Okay. It's the House of Nuclear Workers. It was built by the USSR Ministry of Medium Machine Building, which is in the atomic industry. It's called the Ship House. It's a 14-story residential building on Bolshaya Tolskaya Street in Moscow. It's 400 meters long. It's also known as the Titanic, the Atomic Workers House, the Bachelor House, and the Lying Skyscraper because it's lying down. It's a skyscraper on its side. I get it. Interesting. Something new every day, and that's good. It's a good thing to learn stuff. Ship House in Moscow, that's what it is. Next, we have AITAH, and it is entitled AITAH for telling my father the only way I could visit him while he was convalesced was if he paid for the time I would need to take off of work. When I was a kid, my dad was a workaholic. He never lacked anything in my childhood except for his time and attention. That's sad. Cats in the Cradle. Go listen to it if you haven't. Weird guy, though. He kept saying one thing over and over: who's going to pay the bills if I don't work? My dad leased a new Mercedes every few years. Our home had a heated indoor pool. We had a housekeeper. There were places in the budget for him to cut back. I am sure that there were. When I was hospitalized at 16, I got hit by a car. He came the first night, and then I didn't see him again until I was released. That's sad. Like, my kid gets hit by a car, me or my husband or both of us will be there the whole time. When my son had appendicitis, my husband sent me home because I get cranky when I'm tired. And he stayed with him all night. And I would have stayed with him all night if he was getting cranky and needed to go home. I had done all the other stuff. I'd taken him to the doctor, taken him to the ER, sat there and waited for my husband to show up. So it wasn't unfair necessarily. Heck, when if my grandkids have to go in the hospital, I'll be there. When my older sister got married, he only showed up for the ceremony and reception, nothing else, and he caused problems. I grew up knowing that I would never treat my kids that way. I've lived up to that standard I set for myself. I use my PTO every year, as you should. Take your PTO. That is part of your salary, and you earned that time. My husband has like $100 PTO, right? Like over 100 that he needs to take. I watch my kids play sports. I spend time with my wife. They are my priority, not my job. My dad recently had a heart attack. He's fine, but he's all alone. My mom had enough of this crap a while back and moved to Portugal. Good for mom. He has a big house and a nurse. He wants me to come see him. I could, but that would mean using my PTO on him instead of my family. I told him he would need to cover my salary if he wanted to visit. I told him no one would pay my bills if I took time off to go see him. That's fair. It's mean, but it's fair. He got really angry at me and said I was being a money-grubbing a-hole, and that's not how he raised me. Yes, it is. It is how you raised him. It's exactly how you raised him. Oh my goodness. I pointed out that it is exactly how I was raised. I started pointing out all the times he chose his job over his family. I reminded him why mom left. He hung up after I brought up my sister having to wait for him to be done on a business call before he walked her down the aisle. How is he going to handle being home? People like this don't handle being convalesced very well. My wife thinks I'm being harsh with a lonely old man. I don't really need his money. I have a great job, and my boss would approve my extra PTO without question. I just have better things to do, and I think I'll eventually cave, but right now I just want him to understand what he created. I have no problems with you doing this. You are not the asshole at all. Your dad needed to learn a lesson, and now he's learning it. And it's a good lesson for him to learn. So good for you for teaching him. Cherry Girl says, NTAH, y'all are missing the fact that OP's father literally had his own daughter put her wedding on pause so he could finish a business call. And y'all want to sit there and say this man was working for his family? No, he was working to stay away. There's a difference. Very clearly, he made money. All the money he made the money he needed to provide for his children with that life. Enough money that he could have been genuinely present, and he chose not to be. Remember that OP's mom was sick of this man's crap and booked it. My father is a workaholic. He always has been. It comes from his parents, older gen, etc. But the thing is, he has 5 children, 5 of us, and he has always, 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 always made the time. Every play, he was there. Graduations, soccer games, hospital visits. He had been working over 60 hours a week when I overdosed, and you know what he did? He showed up. Even when we went to Puerto Rico and Disneyland, that man worked. He is and always has been working, but I've never, ever been made to feel like I, my father's child, came in second to his job. My husband doesn't work that much. He works a 40-hour week because it's government, so but and he didn't make it to all the kids' stuff, and I didn't make it to all the kids' stuff. And that's fine. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes you have things you can't avoid. Um, but when you show up to most stuff, that's what counts. Showed up for everything I could. My husband showed up for everything that he could. And our kids appreciate that. And not only that, we're now showing up for the grandkids stuff. I have to go to wrestling on Sunday. Wrestling, it's not my favorite thing. Just to be honest. It's not. It's not. Sports ball, also not my favorite thing. Sitting in the cold during a football game, not my favorite thing. Sitting in rain, cold icy rain, snow, etc. Not my bag. Did it for my kids because they were in band. Sometimes I left right after the band quit, and that's fine. If they had a way to get home, or I'd go in the parking lot and sit in the car, pick them up right when they got done, or I'd go home if they had some other way home, which sometimes they did. There were other kids in the neighborhood. We had most of the kids in the neighborhood were actually in my daughter's class, so they had other people that could cart them around if I needed. And sometimes they wanted to. Sometimes they didn't want to come straight home after the football game. They wanted to go be with their friends, and that's fine too. I had no problem with that. Most of their friends were in band. Band was very popular in their high school. In most high schools, it's like the cheerleaders and the football players, but their high school, it was band. If you weren't in band, you were kind of a loser. Okay. Y'all are grasping that OP had more than average growing up, more than just needs. So did I, and it doesn't excuse the fact of being a real parent. Nothing does. We all make choices we can live with, but that doesn't mean that we have to live by the choices others make. And holy cow, my first award on Reddit ever. Thanks, y'all. I'll tell my dad. He'll probably be proud. I hope he is. Having your first Reddit award is really fun. She got 41, by the way. Edit 2, 9 freaking awards. You people are crazy. Thank you so much. I did tell my father, and he didn't say much, but I heard him tearing up over the phone, guys. So to all you guys under my comment with similar parents to OP's father or my mother, the best part about family is that family is yours to make. Make the best of it and find your family. Edit 3, 30 awards. 30. I'm honestly in such shock. Y'all, this is so silly. It means something to me and probably silly that I keep thanking you guys, but OMG, thank you. I'm excited to be able to put this positive experience in my journal this week, and she's up to 41 now. And this was about a month ago ish, little less than a month ago. Ice Seeker answers, right. OP's dad made his own choices. He could have done it differently and be there for his family, but he didn't. And now it's too late. He just realized that he doesn't like the consequences. Jamie Waters says Cats in the Cradle came out in 1974. The hit cover was in 1993. Not like Dad wasn't warned. The hit cover, no, it was a hit in 1974. I guarantee you that. Sabrina Pace Plato says I had the song playing in my head while reading the whole post. I knew it couldn't be the only one, not even remotely. Annie Mame says not even remotely the only one. This is the first thing I thought of. Of course, I said it, didn't I? Next top comment is from is from La Di Da. More curious as to why he wants you to visit him. He never cared about you or your life so far. He's hoping you'll drop everything and look after him. Or has the penny finally dropped and instead he still won't come and visit you when he's well enough? There you go. When he recovers, is he going to come visit you and your kids? Is he going to be grandpa? Or is he going to go back to work? Some people work. Some people live to work and some people work to live. That guy lives to work. I don't want to live to work. I want to work to live. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell, and it is entitled New Neighbor Calls Cops on My Son. I'm genuinely at a loss and unsure how to proceed. My 4-year-old, was up a little later tonight because he had a late nap this afternoon. I live in an apartment building with fairly thick walls. In the year and a half I've been here, never once had a complaint. You can barely hear your neighbors. My son loudly announced that he was done brushing his teeth, but that was it. That was the loudest thing that happened. After getting him into bed, someone started pounding on my door. I opened it to a person complaining that they heard a child yell and pound on the walls. My son never pounded on the walls. He yelled once. I basically told her to F off, and said she was calling the cops. Okay, that's when you say, okay, call them. They're not going to find anything because we did nothing wrong. 40 minutes later, the cops arrived. They pounded on my door and woke my son up. They also insisted on seeing my son as a welfare check. I am beyond livid. My son yelled that he was done brushing his teeth. That was it. He's 4 years old. I've rented apartments for the last 12 years and never once had a noise complaint. My son was scared. It took me an hour to calm him down after the cops left. I don't know what to do. I don't know if posting this is going to help. I'm angry. I feel awful that my son was scared for absolutely no reason. He thought he did something wrong. Any advice is appreciated. Well, first of all, I'd be contacting the sheriff or the chief of police or whoever it was and commenting about how rude this was. So the kid yelled. That doesn't mean he needs a welfare check. Good gravy. Beautiful Routine said this might be a good idea to have a camera inside as well to record your usual activities and noise level. That way, this BS of child pounding on the walls or other nonsense can be disproven. OP says, not a bad idea, but all the walls are literally cinder block. So even if he was pounding on them, how would the neighbor even hear that? I hear what you were saying, but I'm still very frustrated because it's so obvious it would be an issue in the place. Spooky Stuff says, I used to live in some apartments with cinder block walls when I was growing up. My friend's room, different apartment, had an adjacent wall with mine, and sometimes we'd talk to the wall. We could only do it if we were both home alone because we had to yell to be able to hear each other through. And those were cheap student housing on campus apartments, still pretty soundproof just because of the cinder block. Sodom Sleepy says, I live in Europe in an old brick house with multiple units. I can hear my neighbors sneeze, vacuum, the squeaky door in the toilet. Brick is not cinder block, ma'am. Or sir, or whatever you are. Someone's blaming the ductwork. Doubtful. Yeah, no. I would definitely complain to the cops that they woke your kid up. I would complain to their supervisor that they woke your kid up. You woke my kid up in the middle of the night. It took me an hour to get back to sleep. And he was already up late. So thanks. Thanks for that. Next, we have benign existence, and it is entitled "Our Dog Puts Himself to Bed." Aw. We have a 5-year-old mutt. He is high strung and anxious about a lot of things, but he tries so hard to be a good boy. We stopped latching his crate at night and just prop the door open with a blanket curtain over the front most of the time. Most nights he naps in bed for a while until we start winding down, and then when the TV goes off, he hops down, puts himself in the crate. In the mornings, he'll let himself out as soon as the alarms go off and wander into the living room to nap on the couch until everyone's up and moving. Even funnier are the days he decides he'd rather not get up and he stays in there belly up, grinning until we ask him if he wants to go outside. Aw. my my in- some of my in-laws used to have a dog that would take himself for walks. He would have the leash attached to his collar and he'd carry the leash and take himself for a walk. He was a good boy. He was such a good boy. He was the sweetest dog. Found Satan, entitled Life Improved. Okay, this is not safe for work, so just warning you now. You may want to look away. Those who quit watching um, explicit videos, how has your life improved? Josh says stopped watching explicit videos back in July 2025 after realizing that the explicit videos I was getting watching was starting to get a little too hardcore, and after the deed was done, I would feel disgusting. Started looking at videos of me and my wife instead. It was like someone turned a knob up for desire for my wife. I already wanted her, of course, but made our intimacy a lot more intimate and meaningful. And, I'm trying to quit as well. Can you send me those videos of your wife? Oh, it's excellent. It's so funny. Oh, menace to sobriety says I also choose this guy's wife. Theory of TES says I would also like to express my fondness for this particular man's wife. Is the P word a no word or something? It seems like a healthy relationship, though. OP is probably 12 because they did censor the word just as I did, but I did for other reasons, not for myself. I don't mind that word at all. It doesn't bother me, but it bothers other people, and it bothers websites like YouTube and TikTok and Board Panda. So next, we have Just No Mill. Mill bought a guest who took my belongings, lipsticks, pajamas, new shoes. Husband says it's not a big deal. Sounds like, ma'am, you have a husband problem. Okay. I'm still shaking with anger. My mother bought a female relative to stay with us. Right off the bat, mother-in-law expected me to play personal chef to save face in front of her guests. I flat out said no and suggested we eat out. That's fine. You don't really, do you really want to cook while guests are there? Really? Go eat out. It's fine. It's what we usually do. No, if it's my kids, I'll cook a meal. And I'm willing to cook a meal if it's planned. Then Mill asked me to give her guests some skincare sheet masks. Again, I said no. I don't know. I might have said yes. Depends on how much they cost. I don't know. I don't do that much skincare. On day 3, okay, so this was a person that was staying there for a long time. That's ridiculous. On day 3, right as this relative was leaving, I realized my things were missing. Over a dozen lipsticks, a pair of brand new shoes, and the most disturbing part, my pajamas and sleepwear. I've never seen someone treat their daughter-in-law's home like a free souvenir shop so they can look generous. I spiraled for days. I was so stressed my ears physically hurt. My husband got home. I told him what happened, and he brushed it off like I was overreacting. That was my breaking point. I snapped. I called Mel on speaker, yelled at my husband, and kno- knocked a few things around. Not my finest moment. I'm not proud of it. But I feel completely disrespected and dismissed in my own home. I've always been the calm, gentle one, and clearly they took it as an invitation to walk all over me. I live far from my own family and support system, so I'm dealing with this pretty much alone. Having a lot of makeup doesn't mean anyone gets to shop in my bedroom. No, yeah, no, they shouldn't even be in your bedroom. Doesn't excuse taking my belongings without asking. What I need advice on. How do I get my items back? What should I say to mother-in-law and the relative? Any script suggestions? 2, what boundaries should I set with mother-in-law going forward so this never happens again? Never have her in your home again. 3, how do I get my husband to back me up when it comes to his mother in our home? Huh, good luck with that one. Mango says mother-in-law will replace everything that's gone, or 2 things will happen. 1, I will file a refuse report, and 2, I will call the guest and embarrass you. I will tell them those were my items and that either you stole them from me to look good or they are a thief and the police are involved. So your choices are replace the items or there will be legal repercussions and you will lose face in front of that guest and everyone else I choose to tell about this. Mysterious book is much nicer, they say. I believe the following items got mixed up in your luggage. X lipsticks, $14 each, returned unused or send the money to my PayPal. Pajama set blue silk, $29, blah, blah, blah. Shoes, size 7, $59. Total due, $389, due 3126 to whatever, PayPal or whatever. In the future, I think visits should not happen at my house to avoid further confusion so that here are 3 B&B listings in our area to choose from. That's a good idea. Uh, Scrap Paper Musing says, to be honest, I'd make my husband buy me all new replacements. If he thinks it's no big deal to give away my stuff, let's see what he thinks when I buy a dozen new lipsticks from MAC, a spectacular new pair of shoes, and some luxurious cashmere pajamas. Ooh, cashmere pajamas sound lovely. I think I want some. If seeing the cost of the items doesn't change his tune, I don't know what will. Next, we have Retail Hell, and it's entitled Just Put the Wanging Shoes Back in the Box. Jesus Christ, why is it so hard for the average adult? There's a thing, but it's just a angry emoji. It's not a big deal. Stormer Saga says, but that's not my job. Somebody gets paid to do that. I don't work here. Yeah, no one pays you to put your shoes where they go in your own house, do your own laundry, or take out your own trash, but you still do those, right? I hope. The straight A says, sometimes I wonder. But yeah, you are getting that is part of what you're getting paid for. Fun Max says they love placing the shoe they were looking at in another shoebox that is already has a pair where I work. So it's always fun try, trying to find the other shoe. So it's a shoe store. So Al Elk says I'm pretty sure most people who live in stores who leave shoes out of their boxes struggle with toys like these. And I'll show you the toy. And then I have a story. Of course, I have a story. So recently, and I don't remember why it came up or where we were, but one of these toys came up. And I was with my daughter And she's said something about it. She says, you know, somebody needs one or would be fun. And I told her about the time my oldest was really little and somebody had given him a gift. We were at my dad. I know we were at my dad's, so we weren't at home. So he had to be, 3, 4 months old at least, if not, like a year and a half. I'm not sure. Somewhere in between there. We spent like half the day. The adults spent half the day having races to see who could fill all, put all the stuff in the little toy baskets and stopwatches. It was great. See, you can have fun with kids' toys. You just have to be creative. That's all. Next, we have Petty Revenge, and it is entitled "Try to Make Me Look Bad in Front of the Boss. You Should Have Read First." I just had a bit of petty triumph at work and wanted to share the joy. Sorry if this is hard to read. I want to not say too much about my job since one of my coworkers used Reddit. Also, English isn't my first language. For my job, we look at educational programs completed in foreign countries and write reports about how they compare to our country. A worker tried to say that I had done a report wrong, but she had read the report. But if she had read report's requirements, she would have seen that I was right because I was the only com- because I was right because the person only completed 10 years of school before their program, not the 12 required by our credential. My revenge, I said nothing and let her bring it to our boss instead. Instead of making me look bad, she made herself look stupid. And the boss asked her why she was trying to watch my work instead of her own work. Hollow that follows says never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. Exactly. PME or Weird Pet says, or the OP says, and never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. I like OP. Always give me a good Princess Bride quote every day, all day long. I was amazed at how many people at my last job that I had, they were all young. A lot of them were young, like 35 and younger. A lot of them were in their like mid, just out of college to 30. Not seen The Princess Bride. Like, how can you live if you haven't seen The Princess Bride? If you have not seen The Princess Bride, go watch it right now. Go watch it right now. It's the best movie ever. Is it my favorite movie? Yes, yes, it is. It is my favorite movie of all time. I love it. Next, we have Am I the Jerk? And it is entitled AITJ for not babysitting 2 extra children to allow a single mom to go to a wedding. Maybe? Last year, I agreed to look after my husband's nephew and niece over the weekend while he goes with his family to a wedding in Ireland. The wedding is child free, which is great, and I really don't enjoy the Irish wedding traditions that he and his family have. So, offering to look after the children was a great compromise. I have stayed in our house many times while their parents have, I think they meant their house, many times while their parents have adult time and weekends away. Oh, no, I guess she did mean her own house. I love them both to bits. At the wedding, my husband's cousin was visiting at his mother's and heard that I am looking after the nephew and niece, so suggested I look over after her 2 kids as well. I think I met the children 3 or 4 times, and they weren't my favorite type of kids. Okay. If you don't like the kids, that's a different story. If you don't like the kids, don't watch them because it'll end poorly. It always does. Not wanting to be dismissive, I said I would think about it, but it was unlikely I could, as having 4 children on my own was probably too much. Today, I got an email from his cousin, copied to the whole side of Adam's family, saying that she would now be able to attend the wedding thanks to my kind offer to babysit. This is passive aggressive nonsense, is what that is. Then I got an email detailing the children's schedules over the weekend, including picking up from school 15 miles away, ballet and football, also 15 miles away on Saturday morning, chess club on Sunday in a different town, and finally delivering the youngest to a birthday party. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't have children, and my car will not fit 4 kids. My kids will fit 2 kids. So I cannot babysit your children and cart them all over the place. You don't expect somebody to when somebody's watching your kids for you for a weekend like this, your kids don't go to their regular stuff. They stay with the person who's watching them. It is enough to just watch the kids, especially when you're not used to it. You don't need to be carting them all over. If it's one kid, that might be okay. Like, but the kids, if you're doing something and you need the kids to tag along, that's fine too. But I'm not carting your kids over to 5 different activities over the weekend. You're insane. And I'm definitely not picking them up from school. They need to see you before they come into my house so you can explain to them what's happening. Okay, where were we? Ballet and football, also 15 miles away. So how many things is it? Um, Another email detailing the kids' school over the weekend, which includes picking them up from school, ballet and football, 15 miles away on Saturday morning, chess club on Sunday in a different town, and delivering the youngest to a birthday party. That would mean me sitting in the car with the other two for 2 to 3 hours or finding something in a small town for them to do on Sunday afternoon. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Obviously, I've replied to her email saying no. For me, no is a complete sentence. I have clearly stated clearly now that I'm not doing it. Apart from having a single text from her called me a bastard, I've not heard anything. My husband thinks I've done the right thing and probably do most of his family. I'm just feeling really uncomfortable about my decision. No, no, do not feel uncomfortable about saying no. We need to get over this. No, no, I will not watch your kids. No, I will not pick you up and take you to your appointment if it's inconvenient for me. If I don't want to do it, no. I don't feel like it. No. Just say no. It's fine. Remember the just say no? Just say no. Am I a jerk for just saying no? No. Should I have said no to the activities, but the kids could stay? Maybe if that's your choice, but don't think that would go well. But I really didn't want to do that anyway. I was really looking forward to some special time with my niece and nephew. There is an update, but we'll do comments first. Better River says NTA at all. She basically she voluntold you. She didn't volunteer you. She basically volunteered you without asking, then dumping a whole itinerary on you like you're some kind of taxi service. The audacity to CC the whole family on that first email too, trying to lock you in with social pressure. Yeah, exactly. That was very passive aggressive and manipulative. I said manipulative, right? You never actually agreed to anything. You said you'd think about it, and it was unlikely. That's not a kind offer that someone hearing what they want to hear. Kind of like a MAGA. 4 kids you barely know, plus all that driving around, hard pass. I don't feel bad about protecting your time with your niece and nephew. That sounds way more enjoyable than being an unpaid chauffeur for someone who calls your name when they don't get your way. Parity tax says the term is voluntold, and of course, never obligatory and to be vigorously uh, refused. Honeycook says she thought she had you cornered and proceeded to lean into you. That's how my roommate gets people to do things for her. No warning or checking in to see how things work for anyone else. It just has to happen. Told you it was voluntold. Narmi says 2 kids is not the same as 4 kids. Fully agree. And then expecting you to run around and do drop-offs, activities, etc. with 4 kids, are they crazy? No, because she copied the family on purpose. She knew you would say no and was trying to pressure you. Stand firm. I'm already babysitting 2 kids, and that's my limit. Sorry. OP answers, I just don't feel the need to justify my decision. You don't need to justify your decision. No is a complete sentence. And I'm glad you recognize that, OP. Green flags for OP knowing herself, her limits, and everything. I just hadn't had the time to let her know I'd be working as I'd been working all weekend. Got an update. I almost forgot. Update. Short update, nibbling and number two are sleeping nibbling time two are asleep in the spare room, and their parents and my husband have just started their journey to Ireland. Errant cousin announced on email earlier today she was sorry she couldn't get to the wedding as the youngest child had tonsillitis. I wasn't included in the email, but I was told about it by my husband. For all the announce my refusal on email to everyone. Sorry, it you were wrong. The best course of action was to say nothing and stick to my no guns. This way she gets to climb down gracefully and I'm not part of the drama. Always thinks de-escalation is the best, although she probably won't talk to me again. Result, there's no big family drama. I appreciated the support and here's to a fun weekend. So it was just going to be her. I thought at one point that her husband was going to be home, but it was just going to be her and four kids. And she doesn't have kids. No. If it's your two kids and another two kids, you can handle that. But I wouldn't want my grandson's cousins coming over here with them. Um, I don't know them well enough. I don't know them well enough to take the care of them for an entire weekend. So that would be a no for me. Cat's mom forever says, thanks for the update, tonsillitis. Ha! Eleanor Poppy says, classic excuse, glad you stuck to your guns and avoided all that drama. Enjoy the quiet weekend. Neatlo says, tonsillitis is such a convenient excuse. Glad you held your ground and let her save face without getting dragged into it. Also, I thought your kid had their tonsils out last year. Oh my god, I can't believe this. So the answer to that one was neighborhood lower. I thought the little one had their tonsils removed like 3 times last year. They keep growing back, I guess. That has been known to happen. It's not normal. Oh, that's funny. Tonsillitis for the win. Next, we have entitled people, and it is entitled, I will take your furniture, you pay the delivery fee. My boyfriend will move soon, and he posts some secondhand furniture online to sell at a low price. He had remarked on the post that the buyer would need to come up and pick up the furniture themselves. A friend of mine, more like an acquaintance, heard my boyfriend is moving and asked if we had any extra furniture, so I sent her the link of the posts. She wanted the big wardrobe. I replied that we could give her the wardrobe for free, but she would have to come and pick it up. She was furious, saying she's a lady, and how can she carry heavy stuff? No one's expecting you to carry it. You're expected to bring some people and help you get it to your house. Why can't my boyfriend deliver the wardrobe to her house? Edit. I forgot to add, she also yelled, why is your boyfriend going to the gym if he can't even help deliver a big piece of furniture to a lady? His muscle is useless. Oh my God, this lady. I suggested call the van so my boyfriend could help her put the wardrobe in the van. Then she asked when she needed to pay for the van or if my boyfriend, why would the boyfriend be paying for it? You want it, come get it. Of course she has to pay for it. And she comes super mad after hearing this. You're getting free furniture. Oh my goodness. She insisted on taking your wardrobe for free. And you also have to pay the delivery fee. No, absolutely not. Then you don't get it. I didn't reply to her. She turned to other friends to complain we scammed her money. There was no money involved. In the end, we didn't give her the wardrobe. We sold it online for $50 and the buyer arranged delivery by himself. Gabby Johnson says no more neck than a giraffe, that woman. Trick comment says, how can you scam her money if you didn't get any? Armadillo Bandito says she's already counting the opportunity cost. The Julia says, with friends, acquaintances like these, who needs enemies? Head Razzmatazz says, definitely not a friend at this point, not even an acquaintance, just somebody that they used to know. Nice Natural says, somebody used to know. So if you haven't listened to that song ever, go look that up. That's a good song. It's a banger. And I can do every word. It's a hard song to learn, but it works if you get into it correctly. Someone on the screen again. Murdered by Words, entitled Someone Forgot How the Internet Works. It's a post from probably X. I don't know. The next post. Tommy Duggo says AOC has never had a child, has never been married, has never run a business, has never run a home, has never managed people, has never had a professional job. Excuse me, been a representative for a while. That is a professional job. Also, she was a bartender. That's a professional job. Has never served on a local committee. Okay, lots of people haven't. Has no real life experience. Sure, she does. Is a typical deadbeat socialist. Explain the word socialist, sir. Father of floof with a nice doggy picture. It's so cute. Says your Facebook profile says you're a 47-year-old single man who works as a party promoter for Tika Bar in Staten Island because he never got any further than community college. You also have a pretty lengthy criminal record, including third and fourth degree grand larceny, second degree forgery, first degree identity theft, and fourth degree criminal possession of stolen property. And you currently live in your brother's house. Go on about deadbeat AOC, though. I love it. That's excellent. 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 Amanda says, so a House representative isn't a professional job, huh? Interesting. Trobra says, hell, when I'm sure they mean office work, I consider bartender a professional job. See what I said? And even if she had been an office worker, they would insult her for not working a real blue collar job. The level of skill and knowledge needed is more than most managers have. She also runs her staff, which is probably half a dozen more folks. So she's got that skill as well. I know she pays her staff, unlike many representatives who rely on freebie interns, which says she's far better at managing cash flow than most of those other jackoffs. People need to stop paying attention to all these sad jackoffs whose motivations are to tear others down because their own lives are so pathetic. Block them, move on, stop giving them air. Oh no, just laugh at them. I saw a video yesterday. I'll have to find a way to post it. YouTube video saying that we have tried to be nice to these people. We've tried to educate these people. We've tried to ignore these people. None of that has worked. He says, what works? Laughing at them. Laughing at them. I had another person block me on Facebook because I kept calling him a little boy. Little boy. Got mad. Blocked me on Facebook. Oh, and I had a guy block me on Reddit. No, he deleted it. I got somebody on Reddit to delete their entire account because he didn't know that chicken wings are white meat. Kept insisting they were dark meat. Insisting. So I asked him to prove it. Prove to me that it's dark meat. Should be simple, right? I said, you have 24 hours. And I put a timer on. And I did this with another guy on Facebook too. 24 hours. No answers. So after 24 hours, I went back and I answered him again. I said, where's your proof? I take it you're either lying or dumb. Basically. And he said, stop stalking me. I was like, okay, you don't even understand words because answering a comment on Reddit that you posted on a open forum is not stalking, sir. I didn't once look at his profile. I didn't go to any of his other posts and say anything. I didn't figure out who he was and dox him. I did not stalk him. I merely asked him to prove what he said, and he couldn't do it. You know, he called me a creep, I think. I don't know. I thought he had just blocked me, but he deleted his entire Reddit account over this because he couldn't admit that he was wrong. It's crazy. Like, just admit you're wrong. I've admitted I'm wrong. Either admit you're wrong or just ignore it and it'll go away. I've done that too, even when I was wrong and I should have admitted it. But you're wrong. You were wrong. All right, now we have expectation versus reality. Um, Galaxy cake and geode cake balls were a huge hit. And this was the expectation. I love these. I love Galaxy cakes and cookies and stuff. I love them. They're so neat. Absolutely adore it. Absolutely adore it. I want one. And it better be the good frosting, not that whipped crap. I want the good old fashioned buttercream. And I found a friend who wants it too. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, the cake balls are really cute. Cake balls are in the back. In case you missed that. They could be truffles. If they were truffles, oh, it'd be so good. They did a good job with the cake. I mean, they're not professional, so and it's for a 6-year-old. Who cares? Yeah, that's neat. They did a different. They didn't do the buttercream like the original. They did a pour over thing, which is fine if you're not a professional. It's fine. It worked out very well. It's definitely Megan again. Says it's definitely me again. Cake looks great. Consider putting silver edible glitter on it if you have any. Or the snacks behind it on the treat ladder. Also for the party, they look good too. She says we gold dusted it. It's hard to see in the photo. I put the Big Dipper on top with gold edible glitter. Yeah, those are geode cake balls. So good. Those do not look like geodes. They just look like it's not a geode. Sorry. They're cute and they look good, but they're not a geode. Geode is the inside of a rock that has crystals growing inside it. That's a geode. So she cut them in half and had like crystals, like sugar crystals on it. That would have been a better representation of a geode. She just put rock candy on the top. If you'd cut them in half and put them inside, that would have been better. Just my take on it. Not that I would ever do that. All right, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually about 12 noon Eastern, Tuesday through Thursday. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your first cousins once removed, tell your enemies. Please, 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 please like and subscribe. I know people are watching that are not subscribed. And I know people are watching that are not liking. I need you to do that. You gotta grow. Grow, grow, grow. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like an email link to the day's current live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com. And the email address is also in the description. All right, next we have our real estate. This is in Springfield, Oregon, and oh boy. This says baby rooms are startup company, and yet the rest of the house is totally normal, so be warned. It's very nondescript, normal looking, very tight neighborhood. It's Oregon. $437,000. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,900 square feet. How do you get maybe a basement? Hopefully it has a basement that's not being counted in the square footage. Because I don't know how you would get all of that in 1,900 square feet only. Mine is 1,800 square feet. but we don't. The basement isn't counted in that. And we have a basement bedroom, and two of my bedrooms upstairs are tiny, teeny, teeny, tiny. I don't like the layout of the outside, by the way. Oh, that is very white. Woo! That's a Shasta White house. Shasta White is the color of the white they usually use on new builds. I know this because my father-in-law was a house painter, and my husband helped him in the summers when he was in college. Oh, finally, something that's not white. It's very open floor plan. Looks like they had twins, so that's fun. I'm saying that because I have two of these. No doohickeys. It's white. I cannot tell what that says. The skeletons? I know that's not what it says, but that's what it makes me think of. Backsplash needs to be higher. That's the lowest backsplash on our refrigerator's nice. Although it has a big giant dent in it. Oh, I'm so glad I got a new refrigerator. Mine doesn't have a dent in it anymore. Because yes, I inherited a refrigerator in a move that had a dent in it. I'm sure well, I suspect that the refrigerator, possibly the refrigerator, the washer and dryer almost certainly, um, were transfers because they had more than one house, um, and they had both of them up for sale at the same time. So I suspect that they moved all the secondary stuff to this house and kept all the nicer stuff for themselves, which I guess is fine. Um, I mean, it's pretty normal house, pretty normal kitchen, white, great view. That's why I don't like houses stacked on top of each other. You don't have view at all. No, this is pretty normal. That's almost my exact same stove, to be honest. If I didn't know better, I'd say that was my stove. It's it's really close to being my stove, which that's probably going to be the next thing that needs to be replaced. Because replace the dishwasher, replace the washer and dryer, replace the fridge. Yeah, that's the only other thing, isn't it? Replace the hot water heater. No, the next thing we got to replace is the water softener for sure. Got to replace the water softener. Eventually, we'll have to replace. We have this air pump for water pressure that'll have to be replaced at some point too. But in the meantime, we'll save money. It's fine. Okay, these are goofy. I don't like that. I don't like the little signs. Playroom, indoor trampoline. I'm guessing that doesn't stay. Well, we're looking. And they have wedding pictures in their bedroom. Seems kind of narcissistic to me. What do I have in here? I have a plaque with my kid's name on it. I have the thing over there above the bed, which is a covered bridge that I got free from my sister-in-law when she moved. And I have that. I used to have two of those fantasy space stuff. I used to have two, but one of them got broken. Never got put back up. I'm not even sure if I know where it's at anymore. And that's it. I need more pictures in here, I guess. Guess I'm supposed to have pictures of my babies and my wedding in my bedroom. I'm not a designer by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, I took design in college, but that was for architecture. not for actual me actually design. Pete and Sam. They got married on September 29th, 2017, just so you know. Everything is so white. Boring. Ugh. Like, get some pizzazz, people. Oh, nice big walk-in closet there. Another picture of the playroom. Grayson was born to be wild, apparently. There's some dark furniture in there for a little kid. And this one is on the floor. It's not even a bed. Be kind, be happy, be brave. It's got a computer and a mattress on the floor. What the heck? Why? That's weird. And another little kid's that's an interesting concept. It's almost a crib. It's on the floor, and it's got a gate. But any kid worth their salt's gonna climb right out of there. I don't know what this one is. It doesn't tell you what that kid's name is. But they have their name on the wall too, and their last name. Pretty normal washer and dryer. Nothing special. Backyard is tiny. I can see why they're moving with 2 young kids, because this is not conducive to bringing up small children. They have a gate so that the kids can't get on the grass. That's weird. So weird. There's no pool. Why would you have a gate like that? And only on one side. The other side, they can get right in. That's so strange to me. Downstairs is just a dining room, living room, kitchen. They have a little foyer. They have way too much room in their foyer, actually. They could tighten that up and have a little bit more room in the kitchen. Our bedroom has a bath. Family room is upstairs. Along with 3 bedrooms. That's that. Oh, yeah, just a normal little house with a weird bedroom. Or Grayson. Built in 2021. It's 3,000 square feet. Oh, the lot is 3,000 square feet. The house is 1,900 square feet. So yeah, not a lot of room to play. Not a lot of room to play there. Would be good for I don't know, somebody with teenagers maybe. Yeah, it's just no. It reminds me of my niece's house in Seattle. They don't have a yard either. But they have a park nearby that they can go to. All the appliances, it looks like, are included. Washer, stove, refrigerator, microwave. Oh, they're not leaving the washer and dryer. That's interesting. It's an electric water heater. I highly recommend an electric water heater. Preferably one with an app. I can turn on my hot water before I take a shower. I turn the hot water up, and then I turn it back down afterwards. I can also put it on a timer, so even if I forget to turn it back off afterwards, it still turns off. Does have an HOA. HOA is $19 a month, so it must not be doing a whole lot. And the taxes are, where's the taxes? I don't see the taxes. It tells you the taxes. No, price history. People don't like this house. The first people lived in it for 4 years. Oh no, it was listed for rent. And then they removed the listing and they listed it again. Okay, after a year. So it's the original owner, it looks like still. Oh, the tax history isn't available. Well, that stinks. I don't know how much taxes are. Whether I can afford this house or not. Pet Sound Sucks says more like Born to be Mild. Spite Tomatoes says Born to be mid-level manager. Gar Glover Fancy answers at Dunder Mifflin. Matt Cody answers the original Born to be Mild, says that's why they named him Gray Son. Look to the Cookie says Gray Son, sponsored by Salesforce. Oh. Iron Iron Magnesium Zinc says Born to be Wild, written in Times New Roman. Oh. Rocket Science says looks like an exciting fast-paced environment if I ever seen one. Look to the Cookie says we're a family, so we have an open floor plan and a ping pong table. Somebody says, "What color is life, Dad?" Gray, son. Gray. You'll settle into it. Oh. No Rent says, "Oof, that baby boardroom is the absolute highlight of that house." Foul Plug says, "Why is one of the walls in the baby's room a shipping container?" I love it. Interesting AF, and it's entitled "Beluga Whales Are Shredded." Wait till you see this. It's awesome. Make sure my sound's on. Okay. Ready? Yes, there's no sound. There's no sound. He's absolutely shredded. Look at those. What is that? 18-pack abs? I think that might be 18-pack abs there. Conky Doc says probably from all that swimming they do. Probably. Youngster Yoey's answers, I wonder what their swimming routine is like. Not the bot you're looking for, answers. It's brutal, bro. They do it like 24 hours a day. Takaro Limus answers, no time for leg day. This is why I love Reddit. What movie is that from? I'm not sure what movie that is. I have a GIF, but I'm not sure what the movie's from. Oh, Prometheus. Somebody put a Prometheus GIF up of him being ripped like that. It looks almost the same. Oh, this is even better. I like this one better. So I'll share it. I have this extra cup of garlic butter if anyone wants it. Redditors are the most clever people on the internet, just saying. Next, we have Aim on the A-hole. AITA for asking my friend group to send deposits up front for the trip after the last time only half paid me back. Nope. Should have asked that. Should have started that tradition. You always get paid in advance. Always. for trips, always, because you have to shell out money. They need to shell out the money to you. Our friend circle, which compromises 6 friends, takes a trip every year. I usually plan the trip, including booking the Airbnb and other arrangements. Last year, I had to pay $600 from my pocket, as everyone was saying, pay me later. Only half of them actually paid me later, though. When we were planning the trip this year, I suggested that everyone pay deposit first. Then I wouldn't have to pay from my own pocket. Some friends got upset and said that it was making things complicated and I was overthinking. One of my friends says, "You're usually good at this. What's changed? Am I ATA? Am I the AITH?" Okay, that's a dumb way to put that, sir. For requesting deposits this time. No, they should have all paid. When you have to pay something, you have to say, I have to pay this on this date. Get your shares of this money into me by this date. And make it a couple of days before you actually have to pay it. Powder squash is NTA. What's changed is I never got my money back. Did I forget to mention that? Oh, I thought I mentioned it. It was not very good for me. Username says literally OP should have told him what changed. Oh, well, there was an incident. Metallurgy clergy answers, if what if it was the friend who didn't pay that said this? And what they actually meant was, you're usually good with us using you as a doormat. What changed? Username says, responds. Response remains the same, maybe, except a little stronger. If the actual person stiffing you has the gall to ask in your face, put a stop to that kind of behavior. Yeah, I would say if that was that person, I would say, because you didn't pay me last time. Want to pay up now? Because I ain't paying for you again. And you can embarrass them if it comes off like that. Call them out in front of the other friends. If they're not completely embarrassed about it and don't try to rectify it after blatantly being called out, they're not real friends, and I would start to distance myself from them and put up some boundaries. It's a fun trick. The way I look at it is it should never even come to that. If they're a good person, they'll know what they did wrong and want to fix it if they consider OP a friend. Q Missy also answers metallurgy clergy. You're right. I have changed, and I really think I shouldn't even make reservations for you until you have repaid me for last year's trip. Once you have done that, we can discuss the upcoming reservations. 100% that. Epic Chuntars? OP, why are you inviting friend on a trip who never paid you back the last time? Dark Raven says, this is the correct answer. Don't forget to add last year's total to this year's trip because they still owe you. You don't owe anyone a trip. This is a clear sign that they are not your friend. They are using you. NTA, you would be if you fold on this one. Yeah, they need to pay up. Like, I'm not making your reservation until you pay me for last year and this year because you can't be trusted to pay me. This is from Overheard and it is entitled Conversation Overheard at the Grocery Store. Blue Jacket Guy. Hey, I didn't expect to see you all the way down here. Yellow Boots Guy. Just on my way home from my parents' place, now stocking up. Blue Jacket Guy. Yeah, we shopped yesterday, but apparently I screwed it all up. Marie wrote 3 chicken breasts, and somehow I'm supposed to know what that means. 3 packs of chicken breasts, not 3 chicken breasts. Okay, that's an easy mistake to make. Yellow Boots Guy. Oh, I know how that goes. We had milk on the list, and apparently I got the wrong milk. It's endless. They're all milk. It's endless. Opening opinion is the second top rated comment because the first one was kind of dumb and I didn't understand. Or I didn't understand it, which is a possibility. But I didn't understand it, so I'm not going to talk about it. LOLs, ours are vague as heck. We write items such as meat, fruit, spaghetti, stuff, bread. We know what we eat and drink. No need for specifics. Guess we got it good. LOL. Ace Pterodide answers. Here, green is a category. It means anything leafy you can use to make salad. Open opinion answers, yes, see, you get it. Oh, geez. CP Baby says, yesterday I needed milk for mac and cheese. My partner volunteered to run to the store. It's minimum 45-minute round trip. I said all I need was a half a gallon of whole milk, red top. They get home with a red top half gallon of Bavarian buttermilk. WTF. So I sent them to my mom's to trade buttermilk for some sweet milk, and she said they recently changed the colors. It's extremely annoying. Blithering idiot says, referring to milk as sweet milk is one way I can tell if someone is raised in the deep south. Fellow escapee from Alabama here. Jenny says, this mystified me when I moved to the States. A lot of stuff overly sweetened or has sugar added when you wouldn't expect it. Looking at you, kettle corn popcorn. It was the kettle corn that should have tipped you off. Kettle corn popcorn's supposed to be sweet. I look at all the sweet cream butter and I wonder where the regular unsweetened butter was. But I guess it just means they use fresh, uncultured cream to make the butter instead of fermenting it a bit like a few of the European butter brands do. Read in whatever says, if you expect logic from us, you'll be disappointed. It's true. So true. Eversonic says, my mother-in-law asked me to get a can of pinto beans. I love beans and I care a lot about the differences among the types. Got home, she shakes her finger and scrunches up her face. Wrong. Turns out she wanted pink beans, but just always calls them pinto beans. But those aren't pinto beans, ma'am. Pinto beans are brown. Boomer Karen says, okay, that's just cheating. Cornflake Girl answers, guess she should learn to say what she means then. Garbage at Life says, sounds like an a-hole. To which Storm Tomcat answers, yeah, the pinto beans, pink beans is one thing. Maybe if that was baby talk the family never corrected, or maybe even Sonic heard it wrong or something else. But wagging your fingers, crunching up her nose? What are pink beans? Which I don't know what pink beans are either. Oh, they're a Goya product, I guess. I guess they're kind of similar to pinto beans, but lighter in color. I don't know. Just eat the pinto beans. It's not that big a deal. Okay, this is not safe. This is Flair does not safe for work, so be warned. True off my chest. Friends and family think I'm a bum for doing nothing all day. I'm doing niche internet, not safe for work, and making more money than them. So probably OnlyFans would be my guess. Basically, the title. This is a throwaway because my Reddit account is known to my friends and family that almost assuredly would never find it, but I'm not taking that risk. I've been doing 2 days full 2DFD on Twitter on and off for years. 2DFD is an acronym that sounds for 2D Findom, aka financial domination fetish content centered around fictional characters. I've recently started up again because I quit my job and I've been struggling to find another one, as well as finding a fun way to make extra income. Essentially, I roleplay as different characters and talk dirty with people, and they get off to sending me money for it. It's a bit weird, and I would be happy to answer questions about it if you want to know more, but that's the gist of it. Now, this is not in fact that my family and friends know about. I do not want to explain to them that I make a lot of money by sitting at my PC talking dirty and caption writing and posting lewd pictures of fictional characters with random strangers online. There's nothing wrong with that. It sounds like you're making people happy. And if they want to pay you for it, all the better for you, OP. But because they don't know, to them, it looks like I just sat at my computer all day doing nothing productive. You're not doing anything productive, but you're making money, and that's the point. I had a good amount of saved up, and I've never been known to be a spender, so I don't get a lot of questions about my finances. I do get a lot of questions about if I'm depressed, how my life is going, when I'm going to find a new job, why it's been a while. Why don't you just tell them you have a job? You can tell them you have a job. You do. You're making money. Just tell them I have a job. It's an online remote job. They don't have to know the details. Tell them you caption things. Tell them you caption stuff online. The issue not is that now people are starting to judge me. They view me as a bit of a loser that doesn't do much aside from playing video games and struggling to find work. Meanwhile, I've been making pretty good money with my very little work or effort beyond sitting at my computer. Maybe not a career, but more than enough to make me be selective around which next real job I apply and take. Honestly, the judgment and feeling of letting people down or being a wing up is getting to me more than lack of work. I wish I could just tell them, no, I'm obviously not doing anything all day. Here's my last 2 weeks of income to prove it. But then I get a lot of questions I don't want to answer. Big Zam Whoa Hey says, just tell them you're working from home now and say something like, oh, it's just customer service. And, OP says, easier said than done. I live in the same apartment as a buddy of mine, and they can tell I'm not on calls or work related websites basically ever. Maybe I could fake something? Yeah, fix it. Fake it. Ex-Willing Wolf Elf says you could be text chat customer service one. The ones that get to message chat once the AI chatbot lets you talk after replying multiple times. I don't understand. Can you word that differently? And OP says that might work. I'll add it to the possibilities. I said just lie. Just lie. Say you're working remote. Lowell Emu says you do freelance copywriting. You don't need a business card because you have a few clients refer you for more work than you can handle. And OP says that does sound reasonable. Good luck, OP. I hope you never have to find a job again. I hope you get to do this the rest of your life as long as you're liking it. Next we have from What Do I Do? What Do I Do? Entitled The Third Date Went Bad. After I bought chocolates and now she wants a fourth date, but I'm really unsure if I want to continue. I'm 21, she's 20. Okay, so you're just babies. We met on a dating app, which is fine. The first date was coffee shop and it was great. Easy conversation, laughing, talking about goals and school and random stuff. It felt natural. Second date, we walked around the park. These seem like very good get to know you dates. At some point, food came up and she mentioned that she loves chocolate, specifically Ferrero Rocher, or whatever it's called, that she has a big sweet tooth. I figured it's cool, easy idea for next time. The third date, she came over to my apartment and we put on a movie. I pulled out the chocolates and offered them to her, and she said, hey, I remember you like these. She immediately got mad and said she doesn't like gifts and that I shouldn't surprise her like that. Okay, that's rude. Dump her. Dump her. I was honestly caught off guard because I didn't think it counted as a big gift. It was just candy. and I even said she didn't have to take them, but the vibe was already shot. Most of the date was awkward. I tried joking, making fun of myself a bit to lighten things up, and she stayed quiet. We ended it early. Here's the confusing part. After she left, she started giving me one-word answers to our conversations, and now she wants a fourth date. Why? You don't even like this guy. You don't even like this guy who gives you things. Delicious things, I might add. I bought it the last date to her, and she acted like it didn't happen. I'm stuck because that reaction bothered me, not the chocolates themselves. Just how quickly she shut down and got cold over something small. I don't want to get into something where normal gestures become landmines. Do I go on the fourth date and talk about it? Or is this an early red flag and I should just spam now? This is a red flag. She not only told you she didn't like gifts, she was rude about it. She was very, very rude about it. If she didn't like gifts, she should have told you that too. Psychic Wombat says leave while it's early. OP agrees. TPPS says if you are hesitant about straight up calling it quits, at least ask for an explanation. Since our last date you seemed different, especially after the chocolate incident, I'd really like to know what about that situation upset you so much. If she gets defensive or crappy, it's an easy out. And maybe get an honest answer and can move forward or not with a decent baseline of communication. This and always also update us. Clean Living says, yeah, I want to know what the heck went wrong. Most people would be happy getting chocolates they enjoy. Yeah, I don't understand her at all. Oops. X Blue Dog says this is actually a good opportunity to confirm just dropping her. Tell her I wanted to do something nice for you, and I remembered you telling me that you like this brand of chocolate. It seemed to me you got really upset by that, and the rest of the time we spent together felt awkward. Help me understand why it seemed like I that upset you. If she tells you perhaps you can carry it forward. If she goes off, that's a red flag. I confirm she's not the one. PSA reminder, never stick your dick in crazy. Oh, you don't want to know. I think I discussed that yesterday anyway. You want to know about sticking your dick in things, you can look at yesterday's, the day before this month's post, video, whatever. Nah, I say if someone gets that upset about getting a gift, I would just skip it. I would just, no. Who knows what else she'll go off on? Mildly infuriating. Wife kept putting this tray on our white stairs. Dangerous. I've told her to stop. She was going to clean the toilet, and that's good and nice, putting stuff in the toilet room on the tray. But putting a tray like that with a house that has 3 kids, I don't think is very safe. It's hard plastic, and someone steps on it, you're going to go sliding. Coming from upstairs, it's actually very hard to see the tray mounted nicely. Also, those steps don't look very safe to begin with little kids. Steps are unsafe because little kids can slide through there really quickly. And the tray, at least put it over to the other side. Jeez, oh pizzas. At least put it over to the other side with the other stuff. That. Zather says my parents won't put a black cast iron pan on the stairs down to the basement. I stepped on it and fell, sliding all the way down the steps. My elbow went through the stairs drywall. Pan went through the basement drywall. Edit, for those concerned, the frying pan was fine. I was fine for a few days, banged up my elbow good and was stiff, but I managed to protect my head and back and no lasting injuries. Edit 2. I was in my 20s at the time, and my parents had just moved into a new home. I drove 150 kilometers to do my laundry at their place, and they weren't home when I fell. They got home later that night, and I got no sympathy from them, almost killing me. Healed up fine. That knee and elbow don't react to the weather. My hip, on the other hand. I'm an 80s kid, so of course it was my fault. I'm going to say I would never do that to my kids. The worst was I had to drive home the next day when my knee rather sore. I drove a standard at the time, and it was my left leg. Ugh. Even if it was your right leg, ugh. Somebody answers, not as classy as when Legolas did his shield surf. Winjin says, redneck-a-loss. And thanks y'all for the updates and even rewards. I'm loving it. He got the rewards. Sock awards. I don't know what that is. What do you see, redneck-a-loss? Well, it looked like that them there hobbits are being taken over to yonder to Isengard. And Sam Hughes hugs says, I can hear Orlando Bloom talking like this in my head now. Thanks. Next, we have Am I overreacting? AIO for being annoyed that my wife's friends and husband dropped in on us for dinner. Maybe. This is short and sweet. I plan to cook out for the wife and my son since we had some warm weather. I went and got some real nice steaks. While prepping everything, her friend calls and invited her and her husband over. My wife just tells them to stop and get some steaks to cook. So they do. I was annoyed I didn't want company. But I went with it. I cooked the food, and when it comes to sit down, everybody grabs their food, and when I grab mine, my steak is gone. This MFer took my steak, was already eating it, and said, oh, my bad, did I grab the wrong one? I can't tell the difference. You mean to tell me you can't tell the difference between my fresh cut local bakery 2-inch thick, $25 pound Demonical compared to your literally Walmart purchased $9 per pound, whatever it was? I left and went to the steakhouse and told them to have fun. My wife got upset to me that most people steak is steak and I should have let it go. No. He knew what he wanted. He bought what he wanted and somebody took it. It's rude. Don't do that. I've had people do that to me. It's so annoying. except I didn't have a substitute at all either. They took my drink that I bought for me to drink and then said, "Your name didn't have your name on it." Like, shut up. You knew it wasn't yours. You didn't bring it. Don't touch things that aren't yours. If you didn't bring it to the party, it ain't yours until somebody offers it to you. Reasonable Sales says he knew exactly what he did. He just wanted the good steak. Yep. 100%. Everyone's saying everybody else is a hole. This is also considered not safe for work, so be warned. This is from Confession, is entitled "A Girl I Know is Offering Herself to Me in Exchange of Money." Okay, she's prostituting herself. That's not good. We used to work together, but she moved to a better job. She was always a bit flirty with me, but I valued our friendship more. Recently, we got in contact again because of a common friend, and our interactions were about catching up and remembering the old days. Until we started talking more about our private lives, and she told me she had ended a very abusive romance with a female. It caught me by surprise, but then what really threw me off balance was that at some point she offered herself to me in exchange for some financial assistance. I think it started as a joke, but after that, she told me she was being serious. I just don't get it. She's making enough money not to be in a bad situation. I still talk to her, but I'm pretending to think she is joking with me, and I know she's being serious. My confession would be at some point I was tempted to accept, but pulled myself together and decided to just not talk to her again. But I feel bad at the same time about her. We used to be friends, and it's tearing me apart knowing that she's going through some bad stuff. How can I help her? Should I? I fear maybe she'd get offended. No Video says just because she makes good money doesn't mean she has money. Yeah, what is she spending her money on? That could be a concern. Luxuria says this is the most important reality check in this thread. A good salary does not equal financial stability. That's bad decisions or just life itself can drive anyone to despair. That's true. Mon Balance answers the original comment with, but if she needs help, she can ask for it. If you turn this into pay me for sex, it's a deal, not a friendship. Exactly. Exactly. No, she needs to get her money other ways. It's really sad that thinks she has to prostitute herself to make ends meet. Nobody should have to do that. All jobs need to pay a living wage. All jobs need to pay a living wage. Got it? Yes. The McDonald's person that gives you your burger needs to make a living wage. That is one income per person in order to do whatever. Pay their bills, go on a vacation every year. A living wage. A wage you can live on. Next, we have best offender updates. Did you like that little transition there? Do I, 50 male, allow family that kicked me out at 18 back into my life? My wife, 48 female, thinks I should. I think we read this. No, I think I read it somewhere else. It's good though. Maybe I should make sure I haven't read it. I don't think I read it here. No, I don't think we read this here. Okay. I must have read it somewhere else then. It is good. Holy cow, I never in my dreams thought I would be the guy posting on Reddit for advice. I normally tend to lurk and offer occasional advice, but this one Excuse me. This one might need, okay, I'm going to start over. Original post January 14th, 2024. Holy cow, never in my dreams would I thought I would be the guy posting on Reddit asking for advice. I normally tend to lurk and offer advice, occasional advice, but this one might need external opinions from. Sorry if it's a bit too long. It's kind of long. So a little while back, I'm a twin, and when I was born, I hadn't developed my lungs fully. So I had to stay in the hospital for quite a while. Due to this, I had a lot of developmental and emotional issues, dyslexia and anger issues. Now that I'm reading it, I don't think I read it. I think I read it, but I didn't read it to you. Now I don't know if this is the reason, but I believe so. That because of these issues, I was treated poorly by my family. Like I was somehow a burden to them. Not to say they were abusive, but the neglect I received was a lot. Neglect can be abuse. Benign neglect, neglect that doesn't matter, letting a kid play by themselves without interference, letting somebody figure out a problem before you intervene. That's benign neglect. It's benign neglect because you're letting them do it on their own. And then you can cross over into abusive neglect, which is what you think of when you're thinking of neglect. For example, on our birthdays, I would ask for something and my brother would get it instead. Okay, that's not neglect, honey, that's cruelty. One year, asked for a boombox, not a big one, a smaller one. They were all the hit in the 80s, so instead my brother got it. Christmas came around and asked for a remote controlled car, brother got one. I was told due to funds, I had to wait till after the first of the year. Of course, it never happened. So basically, I got nothing but clothes for Christmas, while my twin got toys. I tried for years to show I was as good as my brother. He was also always good at school, while of course I struggled. In sixth grade, I worked hard to make sure I got good grades, all B's, which was good for me. And they said, "Oh, nice, your brother got all A's." I think it was at this point I realized where I stood. I was just a roommate that they had to take care of, nothing more. So as a kid, I figured that if I can't get attention for positive things, then I'll do whatever. And if I get in trouble, at least they'll be forced to pay attention to me, which is not an abnormal thing for a kid that's not getting attention to do. Because no bad attention is better than no attention. When you are not the brightest idea, but when you're 11, 12 years old, what do you expect? When I turned 18 shortly after graduating high school, I was met at the door with a bag of clothes. I was told that I had to go, that they did their job and I needed to leave. I asked about my brother, and they stated he was going to be somebody as he was going to college, where I struggled in school, so clearly I was going to be a bum. People who struggle in school can still go to college. Shocker, I know. To tell you the truth, I was really ready to go anyways. I already knew how they felt, so this didn't even bother me. I grabbed my bag. My mom tried to hug me. You're trying to hug your kid when you're kicking them out at 18. Are you kidding me right now? But I ignored it and walked out the door and never looked back. It took me a while for me to get on my feet. Of course it did. You're 18. You have nothing. Nowhere to go, no place to sleep, not a penny to my name. But I had some friends to rely on, at least temporarily. Good. And my door is always open. Just saying. Fast forward a few years and I met my wife who I was looking while I was working at a gas station. We just clicked. A few years later, we got married. We built a home together, something I had never really had growing up. Back in '05, we had a baby girl, and 2 years later, a boy. From my perspective, my life is perfect. Family, home, great job in IT. Good for you. It wasn't until yesterday I received a phone call from my mom telling me my dad passed away and that the family would hope that I could make it to the funeral. Mind you, I don't know how she got my number, but probably from my brother. I was shocked to say the least. I told her I was busy working, which I was. 12-hour shifts are fun, LOL, and I would let her know later. She started to say something to the effect that they missed me and would like to be a part of my life or something like that, but I hung up. Kind of rude. I know, maybe even AH-ish. But from my perspective, I haven't heard a word from these people in 32 years. So almost twice as long, He's been out of the house almost longer than he's been than he was in the house. So why would I give them any more of my time? I told my wife that although she knows about my family, she thought it would be the right thing. Seeing that my mom reached out to tell me where she could have not told me that they are family and probably felt bad and want to reconnect. Mind you, my wife has a big family and they've always treated me like family. So her view of family is a little different than mine. However, as far as I'm concerned, I already have my family and those other people are former roommates. That I have no obligation to anyone but those who care about and who care about me, my wife and kids. I get it. My wife loves me and is thinking of me and how I might regret not going. It just seems like they now know that dad is gone and life is short, so now the guilt is creeping in and they don't want to die with that guilt. I mean, do I go at my wife's suggestion and be miserable around people that I learned to let go of and not care about and that in order to look like a better person? Or do I stay home and continue to live my life, putting my own family first and ignoring these people? Guess asking those that have gone no contact with their family if they let them back in, was it worth it? Or did it backfire in your face and something you wouldn't ever do again or suggest to others? Additional info. Mind you, I live in Florida and they probably still live in California, so it'd be a long trip and not sure worth it. As far as my twin, we don't talk, not that we hate each other, we just walk different lives. I got send occasional Christmas card, but that's it. Unless some miracles happen, my mom is probably still the same self-centered person she's always been. She always wanted to be seen as a good person in my family. Editors know OOP made a lot of responses to the original post. I'm listing the common questions and responses. Commenter 1, your mom is not reconnecting out of any kind of desire or care about you. She has probably extended family who she's hidden this from and doesn't know how to deal with questions about why you're not there. And that's probably something your wife doesn't understand about narcissists. It's never about anybody else but themselves. Whatever the reason she has for contacting you, it's for her benefit, not yours, probably. She doesn't even have to be a narcissist to do that. She just wants to save face in front of family she's probably not seen in years. And she doesn't even know this kid. She doesn't, well, kid, he's 32. She doesn't know him anymore. um, OP says, damn, feels like you know her. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one thinking this. Thanks for commenting. OP on his mother trying to take credit for doing everything right because of his life. OP, knowing her the way I did back then, you're probably 1000% right. People like her don't change their colors. It's true that because of them, I learned the hard way. Sure is. But that wasn't the caring way. It was a cruel way to teach me. Yes, exactly. I'm not a better person because of them. I'm a better person in spite of them. I worked my ass off to create the family I deserved, and they'll never give credit to anybody but myself and the wife. LOL. Yeah, and living well, like he is doing, is the best revenge on people like that. The best. Comment 2, they neglected and emotionally abused you all your life. Do what is best for you. Your wife can't possibly understand. OLP says she doesn't and think it's hard for people who come from loving homes and families to understand bad ones. But she's coming from a place of love, and for that I'm grateful to have such a caring wife. Commenter 3, usually when someone who ignored you for 32 years contacts you, they want something. Your mother didn't want you, kicked you out the moment she could, and now comes calling. She probably figured out that you are doing well for yourself and wants you to do something for her or wants access to your kids. Either way, I would block the number. She's not worth it. 100%. OOP, NGL, I've had these thoughts too, if nothing more than to save face in front of others. As far as my kids, they've gone this long without her, so they aren't missing anything. My wife's parents and family, however, are awesome to them. Spoil them too much, I think, but that could just be the dad in me. No, they're not spoiling them at all. If anybody's spoiling your kids, it's your own mother because she's neglecting them. Neglected things spoil. Loved things do not. That's what my daddy always says. Downvoted commenter says, I wouldn't go unless there are parts of the story you're leaving out. I'm wondering how your anger issues presented in adolescence and childhood. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They treated him poorly, and he had anger issues. Who wouldn't? OP, mostly getting into fights with others at school because they would call me names and try to start fights thinking I wouldn't fight back, which by no means I was a perfect kid, but in the end I was a kid. The story was already super long. There are other parts that made my childhood crap. Made to think I was having a sleepover with my grandma as a surprise, just to find out later from my brother that they as a family went to SeaWorld or San Diego Wild Animal Park or Disneyland as a reward for his doing good in school. Never showed up to my choir concert, so I ended up giving up on that dream and quietly quit singing. If they had America's Got Talent, I probably would have made it. Not. Not one, but I was pretty damn good singer when I was young. Probably still are. That's talent that doesn't go away. Comment number 4. Your father died. Your mother probably thinks you might be good to help her financially. That's probably it. That's probably it. She needs financial help. And the other brother's not doing it for some reason. Or not doing enough. I would send a sympathy card and be wary of why they suddenly want you back in their lives. Commenter 5 answers that. This was my very first thought. If you have a great life, financially comfortable, she wants in on that. Does your brother know anything about your life now, like what you do for a job or if you're married with kids? Could he have clued her in on your life? What does your golden brother do now? Is he married, financially stable? Does he speak to your mother? OOP says, tell you the truth, we don't really speak. We send the occasional Christmas card and maybe a happy birthday message, but nothing more than that. Again, he isn't a bad guy. We just took different paths. The way he was treated versus me, I know he knows what's right. But again, as kids, you can't do much about it. I know he has a good job, married with no kids. So that might be the way mom wants to fix things. Commenter 6, you and I are the same age. I know the mindset of the era we grew up in. Lots to unpack, OP. It could very well be your dad was the ringleader in treating you like the family pariah and is kicking you out. Your mom may have not agreed to it, but still went along, still guilty. Your mom tried to hug you when you left, which tells me right there that she was not in full agreement of this decision. Yeah, it doesn't tell me anything. And she's connecting with you after your dad passed away. That tells me he was the one who didn't want contact, not her, still guilty. It sounds like your mom wants to reconnect with you. I personally would make a trip to introduce your family to loved ones. No, don't take your family to that. That's terrible. That's a terrible idea. That could go completely sideways, and you don't want that. Aunts, uncles, and other extended families who haven't seen you in years also hear what your mother has to say. No matter what, it does not absolve her from guilt of abuse you endured as a child. If you don't get an apology from her, or it seems disingenuous, don't ever talk to her again and disown them, all, brother included. I don't agree with including the brother in that. He had no say over any of that. It sounds like he was reasonably decent, at least to him. It may be one of those trips you have to make to prove to your wife once and for all that your family are truly a bunch of pricks. OP. LOL, OMG. That last line made me burst out loud laughing. Actually, their house was more of a matriarch. Dad was kind of a quiet guy and always allowed my mom to be the boss. I guess people nowadays would call him a beta or a doormat, and he may have been, but he never really stood up for me. A lot of the neglect came from her, and he just stood by and let it happen. I think her trying to hug me was her way of making it about her. January 15th, 2024. Okay, no, we have not read this. That's probably why I read it, because I probably read it in relationship advice. Because that's where it's from, and I don't read stuff from there normally. January 15th, 2024, same post next day. Update. Okay. First, holy crap, I didn't think my post would get so many comments. I tried my best to respond to as many comments as possible as they came in. But after signing out to cook dinner and spend time with my family, when I came back, there were hundreds of comments. So although I didn't respond to each one, I did read them all 750 plus. Even had to read some this morning. Thank you, Second, thank you everyone for taking time to read my post and then take time out of your day to comment, share your story, or post some kind words, even the few that were blunt about what I should do. Third, at the suggestion of many of you, I sat with my wife and we went through the comments together so she could get a better understanding of where I was coming from. Although some were a little brutal, she stood and apologized for overstepping. I reassured her that her heart was in the right place and nothing to be sorry for. I don't think she overstepped. I think she has your best interest at heart, but it's coming from her perspective and not from the perspective of an abused child. Fourth, at the suggestion of someone who posted, sorry, I lost your name in the past comments, that I contact my brother, I did just that. Update time. Okay, folks, I hope you're ready for this crap show of karma that is about to unfold. Strap in and hold on. So I called my brother to talk to him. I asked him if he had time to talk, and he did. I asked him if he gave my number to his mom. He mentioned he did. He thought it would be better to hear about her dad's death from mom than from him. I asked him why I would want to hear from someone who kicked me out at 18 and never heard from in my 32 years. He was shocked and he told me that mom said that I could stay, but I had to pay rent. But I told them if I would never pay rent and left on my own. Well, that's a lie. As others said, oh, said in my OP, narcissistic people do and say things to make it about them and make themselves look better. I can't really be surprised to tell you the truth. This is exactly who she was back then and even now. Make me look like the bad apple to her, them, and her, them as the ones who never do anything wrong. We had a good talk. Never getting that sibling twin bond back, but we did agree to try at least catch up more instead of Christmas cards and birthday messages. That's good. This is a positive outcome. And I told you the brother was not the problem here at all. Like I said in my OP, is not a bad guy. We just walk different paths. So when I asked him why mom wants to reconnect, why she wants me at the funeral, you guys were right. Turns out they spent everything they had their entire lives trying to live like the Joneses, and now that dad is gone, she has nothing to her name. No savings, just a small amount of Social Security per month, and a small portion of my dad's pension living in a small trailer. Hope he's only 32. How old are his parents that they have Social Security already? Because my kid's 30. I guess next year I will, but I didn't have him till I was 30. So I'm on the older side of parenting as it is. They heard that I actually became somebody and was telling others that she couldn't wait to see me at the funeral. She was hoping I would bring her kids so she could see her grandchildren. They're not your grandchildren, lady. You don't even know them. They don't know you. So don't go on Facebook and try and add them or try and talk to them on Facebook because they'll ignore you because they don't know you. So that's what my kids do. She actually told my brother that I would becoming WTF and was hoping we could fix our relationship. I'm guessing that so that she could start asking for money, as many of you said she would do, seeing as she's dirt poor now. I informed him after thinking about it, mostly listening to you guys, that I would not be attending and that no time did I tell his mom I was coming. I like how he keeps referring to his mother as his brother's mom. I feel bad dad is dead, but I already mourned them years ago. I'm at peace with myself, and her death will be no different than that of a stranger. Because they are strangers. They haven't seen you for half your life. That I feel it won't be if I go. It will be for his mom and making her look good, and I'm not interested in doing anything for her. She wrote me off 32 years ago. Oh, okay. So he's been gone twice as long as he stayed there. So he only knew her a third of his life. He's older than I thought. It's 32 plus 18. So no, that makes more sense. Okay. He keeps saying 32 years, and I keep thinking he's 32 years old, but he's not. He's 40. He's like 50. He's like 50 years old. So his kids are probably grown or close to it. Yeah. She'll start trying to get into them. They won't have it. My kids didn't have it. They wrote me off 32 years ago. I'm in a better place without her toxicity, narcissism, and lies. I have to give him credit. He wasn't a jerk about it. He understood where I was coming from. I told him if anyone asked why I'm not there to tell them the truth or lie. At this point, my life, my immediate family is more important than the people they've been absent from my life for 32 years. So don't really care what he tells them. As far as his mom, I'll be staying no contact and blocking the number she called me from. My wife and I both agree that it's best for me and our family, not only for mental reasons but for financial reasons. I didn't work as hard as I did to get where I am to lose it all for her. As somebody suggested, I'm going to have a small goodbye for my dad on my own time. Thanks, internet strangers. I never knew so many random people could be so nice and caring. This old guy truly thanks all of you. Oh, P.S. deleted his account, by the way. JJ says, oh, he doesn't say whether they were identical twins, but dang, even having birth twins, the narcissist still had to pick a golden child and black sheep. Yep, for sure. Peach Pellini is the second top comment, and they say, being that neither she nor her husband bothered to contact him for what is nearly my entire lifespan and 2/3 of his, I think I might have burst out laughing and just hung up. Lord knows I nearly did when my own father did it after 20. I regret not having done so. Stop thinking it's me. 32 years, hot damn. How do you expect someone to get over that just like that? Yeah, you don't know that person. My mom didn't know me after 30 years. She never bothered to get to either. So, too bad for her. I'm a good person. And after that, we have Made Me Smile. And it is entitled, oops, I can get it from over here. Monkey getting paid in peanuts for a job exceptionally done. Exceptionally well done, sorry. We ready?
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day. Daydream, I dream of you amid the flowers for a couple of hours. Such a beautiful day.
Yeah. Oh, we ate the shell and all. Oh my goodness. I did not know they ate the shells. What do I know? What do I know anyway? Well, that's all I got for you today. That's pretty. What am I doing? So I have a Lower Lake Fushane, Italy picture on my screensaver. All right, well, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow really will be Thursday. I will also have to find a AITJ to substitute because that one got deleted. I know that already. I hope you all have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves. Bye, biddies. I love you. I love you all. Bye. 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 Bye.